¿Qué tal, amigos? Welcome to another edition of LatiNation Football Club, and we are so excited because this week, Semana de Champions, Champions League, Champions Cup, and today I have ni más ni menos que El Chiva Mayor and Nik Z here to break down everything that happened this week. My God, didn't we have so much soccer? Chiva, what was your favorite game of this week?
Obviously, Madrid versus Manchester City was a really good game. I think that, overall, I don't think anybody was expecting Manchester City to give him that much of a fight, to be honest with you. But yeah, that was my favorite game.
Nick, what about you?
Oh man, it's a good question. Milano Feyenoord was amazing. Like Chiva said, obviously Man City, Real Madrid, what an amazing match back and forth that was. Yeah, a lot of great football all around from numerous different continents, right? Because I know which one was your favorite.
Let me take a moment before we get started to acknowledge the accuracy of my good friends. I was the one that said that maybe Manchester City will get the points. It was a good parlay, but you guys were on point. Nick, you were very close with your Celtic pick because definitely one of the highlights of the week is Bayern Munich winning 2-1, yes, but that was a tough win. Like you said, Nick, tell me, what was your impression of that game?
It was an amazing match. I actually said that Celtic was going to kind of do their Celtic magic at their stadium, and that atmosphere was going to take them all the way. And it could have happened. I think Bayern actually got pretty lucky. There could have been a penalty there that would have changed the match, but it didn't go their ways. But yeah, it was an amazing match. It was great to watch. We'll have to see what happens with the next leg.
Do you guys think that Celtic has any chance to get the result back on the second leg?
Hey, never say never. Never say never. Don't count Celtic out. Don't do it. We've tried before. I think whoever underestimates Celtic in the past has been punished for it. And I think it would be a fool's errand to do so now.
Celtic was very, very close to get at least a tie on this game that would have put them in a good position. Although it's very, very difficult to go to Bavaria and try to get the result. Another game that didn't go the way that we thought, it was the Feyenoord Milan. We were confident that Milan will come, and the boost out of the new signings like Santi Jimenez and Joao Felix, they both started, but they were not able to make an impact directly on the scoreboard. Paixão, the Brazilian man of the match, what a performance. Chiva, what were your impressions?
Man, it was such an intense game. I think Feyenoord finally came out and said, you know what, we can make this happen. Even though it's Milan, we can advance to the next round. And they could score more goals. They should have scored more goals, But at the end of the day, it was just 1-0. But honestly, it was a very intense game. I love the fact that Feyenoord never felt like they were the smaller team.
What happened with Milano? I'm sorry, but they need to be worried moving forward. I mean, yes, they're heading back now to San Siro. It's just a 1-0 aggregate. So look, it's not some tragedy where, all hope is lost. They could still turn things around here. But I'm sorry, if you're Milano, you have to really sit back now and kind of analyze what happened there. They were terrible on attack. They were terrible in the back. They just couldn't make it happen. And it just seemed like they were struggling. And in the second half, the changes that they made didn't help that at all. So they need to really have like a kind of introspective, what's going on moment here and try to change things at home, where they still do have a good chance. But seriously, what happened there?
The reality is that Milan has a lot of pressure around them. This is a team that is in the thick of a rebuild, that has invested a lot of money recently to make this team competitive again. This is a titan of the Champions League, one of the teams that have won the most orejonas in the existence of the tournament. So like you said, Nick, this is of the highest urgency for them to become top participants in the tournament, to make a deep run, get at least to the semifinals. I don't think anything less from that will be considered acceptable. But we need to move on to more games. Another game that ended with a very, very controversial decision from the referee was the Club Brugge 2-1 victory over Atalanta. I felt very unfair. I felt like that was a soft penalty at the very last minute. I think that, like the coach said, this goes against the spirit of the game. Is they taking away their, I don't know. It made me a little bit sad for Atalanta that had a very good game. Now they're going to have to wait to, for the second leg. Chiva, what were your impressions?
I was so mad, right? Because I said Atalanta, and seeing them go down 2-1 in the last minute with that soft penalty because it was a very soft penalty. Honestly, like they should be like more attention to it in the bar. But I don't know, man. It just felt like they got robbed. To be honest with you, I know that Atalanta is gonna come back. They're gonna advance, but sometimes you question yourself, like, why do they have all this technology if at the end of the day they still make these mistakes, man?
This match day, the first leg was clearly dominated by the away teams, a lot of away victories, but one of the locals that got the result, and in dramatic fashion, it was Juventus with their 2-1 victory over PSV. What a goal from Mackenzie. I haven't seen, un tremendo zapatazo like that in a long time. It's very exciting to see the level that he's reaching at that team. Nick, what was your favorite moment of the game?
That one exactly, and it cements this sentiment that I've kind of been feeling, I guess, the last few months, or I would say the last few years, actually, that Americans are starting to make their mark on the game in Europe, and this sort of cemented it for me. So these moments are always extra special for me when I see Americans doing amazing things on the other side of the Atlantic.
The fact that CONCACAF is being well represented, in the Champions
Yeah.
League by many different players, Canada, Mexico, obviously US. It's just amazing to see something that we never thought of probably 10 years ago. It was an exciting match, 2-1, very close, but at the end of the day, that golazo, made it worth watch the 90 minutes.
Chiva, Real Madrid goes to Manchester City. It seems like they're gonna allow Manchester City to live another day. And then the last minute hero, Bellingham, always after the 85 minute comes and gives Real Madrid the advantage as a visitor. How does it feel to be a Madrileño, a Madridista in this moment?
I mean, it's amazing, man. Let me tell you something. In paper, you see the match and you say, like, man, it's going to be very difficult for Real Madrid. But honestly, even though they went down 2-1, it never felt like they were going to lose this match, you know? Especially after seeing Mbappé scoring Chicharito style. That just told you everything that, that's Madrid and Champions League. I don't know how they do it. The magic comes out and they come up. But yeah, I mean, it was an amazing match, to see versus Manchester City. They did give them a fight, but at the end of the day, Madrid should have won like 5-6 goals. They should have scored like 5-6 goals. It was a really good game.
Nick, do you think Manchester City has a response? What is happening? Why are they crumbling in the last part of the games? Is this self doubt? Is this lack of belief? Are they just not buying Pep Guardiola's schemes anymore? What do you think is happening right now?
No one knows the answer to this question. I think this is something that everyone is trying to figure out. What the heck is going on? They led twice in that match, and they were still able to let go. But this isn't the first time that this has happened, as you just mentioned. They've lost leads against Sporting, Feyenoord, PSG. It's happened numerous times this season in the Premier League as well. So I mean, it's obviously a persistent problem with City, and they need to really figure it out because it's just sad. And look, I mean, also Madrid was amazing. We can't deny that like Madrid was very Madrid. I mean, in the back, despite all of their defensive kind of injuries, all the woes, they strapped things together. They put players together who haven't even played together and were absolutely solid in the back as well. So what an absolute match. This match is why we love the Champions League. I don't care who you're rooting for. I actually I love Man City. I'm not much of a Madrid fan, so I was kind of rooting for City, but like just as a viewer, what an absolute match. I mean, this is why we watch.
What a great insight. We had all the results, but don't go anywhere because we have more Champions Cup, CONCACAF Champions Cup on our next segment. And at the end of the show, we're going to tell you the picks, the predictions for the second leg, and who is going to advance into the round of 16 of Champions League and Champions Cup. Don't go anywhere. This is LatiNation Football Club.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
You want me to solve all this tush-push and fourth down malarkey that goes on with the officials? Here's a crazy idea. Get rid of the worst rule in the NFL, and that is forward progress. How about this? Where I knock your ass in the ground is where the ball goes, period. Let's end this whole conversation. Like, if I drop you back 4 yards, then you lost 4 yards. If we get rid of forward progress, this tush push and everything else is taken care of. Where I put your tail on the ground is where the ball goes. End of conversation. It's the dumbest rule and the most arbitrary rule. The only thing that is a worse call in the NFL than forward progress is the punt that goes out of bounds when you watch the official walk down the sideline having absolutely no clue where that ball crossed over. All I can think of is that Price is Right game go do-de-do-de-do, do-de-do-de-do, as he's walking down the sideline, arbitrarily trying to figure out where the ball crossed over because he's got no clue.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
¿Qué tal? Bienvenidos de vuelta a LatiNation Football Club. We are so excited because we are back on this side of the Atlantic to enjoy all the results of CONCACAF Champions Cup. And we had, an expected round of results. The Mexican teams mostly showing dominance, mostly showing better performances than on the first leg, but still many doubts because the distance is shortening between the teams in Central America and the big teams in Mexico. Chiva, Nik, thank you for being here with us. Let's start with Chiva because he probably is very happy with the Chivas game, an historical game. Chicharito back in the headlines, back scoring.
Milagro. Chicharito scored a goal, and that just makes me so happy because, he's recovering from an injury that has been taking him too long for him to be able to help Chivas to be in a better position. To see him score, and now he didn't just score; he scored a Chicharito goal.
Yeah.
When he kicked the ball, it seemed like it was not gonna go inside. Chicharito goal. But it's so happy to see him score. At the end of the day, I think that he's gonna help Chivas a lot. There was rumors that he wanted to leave the team because they bring Alan Pulido. I think that is gonna make him better. And there's gonna be a lot of competition with Hormiga, with Alan Pulido, and then himself. And it's only gonna give us more goals at the end of the day. But hey, I'm so happy that he scored, like you said, a historic goal, and to the Chivas advance and play against America 3 games in a row is crazy.
I was surprised it was only 3-0. Chivas had 20 plus shots on goal to Cibao's 2. It could have easily been a 5-7-0 match.
And that was the story with Cruz Azul that show the superiority of one of the best put together teams in Liga MX. The former LAFC player Bogusz is just fitting right into the scheme. It's like he has been playing there for months. First play of the game, he put a ball right on the box that was half a goal. Incredible. Nik, do you think Cruz Azul is the best team in the competition right now?
Ooh, that's a good question. They're up there with America. I want to see how some MLS teams are gonna fare in this tournament. Tigres are looking absolutely amazing too, despite that upset that they had in the first leg. But yeah, Azul's definitely up there. Thanks to Sepulveda and others, they're doing absolutely amazing. Real Hope might have to think about changing their name.
Tigres really play at a very high level. It looked comfortable. And that made me think that was a theme, right? Like, although we were trying to create some level of excitement around the idea of these Central American teams, making a dent into the tournament. The reality is the Mexican teams, even when playing poorly, like my Puma, that I'm wearing this vintage garment of back in the 90s, even with poor play, they were able to get the results. Cavalry, the champions of the Canadian League, made Pumas struggle the last 15 minutes of the game. Although Bebote showed that he needs to be at the 9 consistently in Pumas, he's a deadly striker when he's plugged in. And also, I was very happy to see Alex Padilla, the goalkeeper that was playing at a very high level, great technique. Exciting times for Pumas. Now we have to talk about MLS teams that will play next week. Obviously, the most exciting game for me is going to be Colorado versus LAFC. LAFC looking good. Chiva, you were there for the LAFC versus America game. LAFC looking really good against an America that was, playing at a very high level. Both the teams that play in the first half with the starters and those younger players that have been getting a lot of minutes in Liga MX. How was the feeling for the team, in the stadium?
They look pretty good, to be honest with you. Even though there's a preseason, they haven't played too many games. I was impressed by the midfield. I think we have a faster midfield with Marky Delgado, Jesus Igor, and then Tillman didn't look that good. But at the end of the day, when Diego Rosales came in, he gives me hope that we have somebody in the bench that is going to be able to help the team. They look pretty good. Unfortunately, I think one player that is still not delivering, Olivier Giroud, he looks frustrated. He can score. He looks slow. He looks like he slows down the game. But at the end of the day, they won the match. Nathan Ordaz, one of the academy players, came in, show up. He showed that he wants to be a starter. Now that Kike Oliveira is gone, that Mateus Bogusz is gone, there's a big opportunity for him to be a starter. Because the Venezolano Martinez didn't look that good. He's still struggling to kind of give us his best play. But at the end of the day, again, they won. And versus Colorado, it's going to be a little bit different because when you go to Colorado, la altura, it's very tough to play up there. But at the end of the day, if they want to advance, if they want to play their third Conca Champions League final, they have to go through Colorado and here at home.
This is a very important tournament also for LA Galaxy. Galaxy needs to also make a statement. They need to stay relevant in international competitions now that they are the MLS reigning champion. What are your thoughts on the upcoming match?
Okay, so we got a little bit of time, right? We got the bye, so we've kind of automatically advanced. So we have a little time to kind of sit back, watch, see how teams are playing, and sort of gather things because we do have to kind of, I don't want to say like build anything because we're still the Galaxy. Okay, we've kind of been punished the way that all champions are punished in the MLS by doing that sin of winning and doing well. So we're coming into this, we've had to kind of, I don't want to say forced to, but we were kind of forced to trade our number 9, Dan Jovelic. And that's going to do a lot of damage, I think. But you know what? We have a lot to prove, and I'm still very confident in my beloved LA Galaxy that we can do well. There's a lot of other contenders. LAFC are looking great. We're going to see how Inter Miami does against Sporting KC, and just hope for the best. We don't even know who we're playing yet, so we'll see what happens.
It is a tough leg for the MLS teams. They have to go through a lot of tough teams before they get to Liga MX opponent like LAFC. This is a breaking moment for them. They've been the final of every major tournament last year, and they were not able to get anything but the Open Cup. And now they have a tough road, Colorado, and then Columbus, and then maybe Miami, and then we get to probably America again, or Leon, Chivas. I like that style, Chiva. I like that. I like the confidence. But you know what? We are going to have so many exciting games next week on Champions Cup. The round of 16 is taking shape. A lot of exciting football. We have to take a break right now, but when we come back, we're going to talk about the 30th season of MLS. Our favorite tournament is back. We have more for you here in LatiNation Football Club. We'll be right back.
There there is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
But if it ends up being 1 versus 2, which seems likely because the Cavs have a 5.5 game lead over Boston, the Celtics 3 games clear of the New York Knicks.
They're not unstoppable, not running away with everything, but for them to blow a 5.5 game lead on the backstretch in the NBA, already being a quality team outside of disastrous injuries, I don't buy that at this time.
The Early Line. Only on SportsGrid.
In a short format tournament like this, like the Olympics, now this is even smaller, only 4 teams. Who's got the best goaltending? Over, you're talking 3 round robin games and then a knockout with 4 teams. So you're playing 5 games.
I'm not sold yet, Mike, on the USA stuff, on the merch, but I think I'm sold on the USA at least being in the final.
Only on SportsGrid.
Bienvenidos, estamos de regreso. Here we are in LatiNation Football Club, and I am so excited because we are going to preview MLS season number 38. Chiva, Nick, I am very excited. Are you guys excited about what's going to happen next week?
I'm just going to say I can't wait. I mean, I've been waiting. It feels like it's been years. So I'm super excited.
Super excited, man. I can't believe it's been 30 years. It's been such an amazing roller coaster, you know, from seeing the teams struggling with sponsorship, being attached to one sponsor for 10 years, and then still develop little by little. Now, you know, getting paid from Apple TV, you know, billion. So this is so exciting, man. 30 years that we're gonna talk about next week, and we're gonna have so much to talk about, all our predictions, et cetera, et cetera. Don't miss it. Don't miss it. It's gonna be fun.
It's going to be great. A walk down memory lane from the penalty shootouts to Messi mania. How much has this league changed for the better? And we are excited because we are putting together today just a little preview, a little taste of what we are preparing for next week. Chiva, you are one of the fans that have been pouring its heart onto the game as a fan for the longest. You were there when Chivas USA broke through and was the very first Latino-centric team in the U.S. You were there as a founding member of the supporter group for LAFC. How exciting is to see that the league has evolved so much?
So excited, man. From Diablo Echeverri, Pio Valderrama, Jorge Campos, to Messi, Suarez, Oliver Giroud, you know, et cetera, et cetera. I think it's been amazing, man. At the end of the day, the fact that this league is growing so much, that the world is giving the U.S. the opportunity to have more football during summer, bringing the big teams, we're bringing the World Cup, the clubs World Cup. I mean, it's just all of that adds to what has been created through football, and I'm very excited about that.
Nick, this is a moment that we've been waiting for a long, long time, the return to play of MLS. A lot of expectations for Galaxy, a lot of expectations for LAFC, but another team that all eyes are going to be on is San Diego Football Club, the newest team in the competition. What are your predictions around this team?
They're kind of a dark horse in a few ways. We obviously with a new team anything can happen, and sometimes you get that beginner's luck, something that LAFC had. Not saying it was all luck, You guys are touchy. I'm not saying it's all luck, but it happens. Teams come out with a lot of hype behind them. There's a lot of excitement. They have something to prove, and I think we could see that with San Diego. What an amazing city! What a city that is full of amazing soccer fans. If they finally have something to call their own, it's about time, is what I've been saying this whole time. And I think we could see real magic happen with San Diego. I feel really, really good about them. What about you guys?
Following on the steps of the San Diego wave, I don't want to, belittle the success of the women franchise in the area that has set the standard really for what San Diego Football Club needs to achieve, because that franchise is one of the most successful ones, and I've been in that stadium, and just the environment is world class. So the footsteps that they need to fill in, they're already pretty big, and Chucky Lozano will definitely help doing so. Also, San Jose is one of my dark horses. I think San Jose is going to give a lot of headaches next season. But also, there's something that is happening around the MLS that is very, very exciting. And it's all the rumors around the USL creating a Division 1 tournament with relegation with their USL 1, USL 2 tiers, which will shake the mere foundation of US soccer will be shaken to its core if relegation is introduced to any major tournament, or any major league in the United States. Will be the competition that MLS needs to accept that is moment to to conform to what soccer is around the world. What do you guys think about that?
Look, they just announced that they're gonna have a USL 1 team and Pico Rivera. I'm so excited about that. At the end of the day, there's more opportunities for young players to develop, to become professionals. And like you said, man, the fact we're gonna have relegation, I think MLS is gonna feel that competition. And it's weird because it shouldn't be that way, right? It shouldn't be like the system with all these different divisions, relegation and all that, so that everyone can have an opportunity. MLS is not doing that right now, but we hope that in the future they follow USL steps, and I'm very excited for that, man.
It brings more competition. It gives more opportunity. It makes excitement. It makes these magical moments that are heartfelt, where dreams come true. There's so much more to benefit from it than there is to lose. But hey, it's about winning people over and convincing them that it's worth doing. And that just takes time, I guess.
You heard it from the best here in LatiNation Football Club, and we'll be ready for next week, the preview of the 30th season of MLS, an exclusive of LatiNation Football Club. You can watch us on LATV networks, the LatiNation app, and SportsGrid. I am Marcelino Ortiz, and I'll see you next week.
At some point, these ADs are going to learn we don't need to hire ex-NBA guys. I need guys with college experience, who's gone out and recruited, who knows how to develop talent. NBA guys with no college experience don't work in college basketball. I understand they run NBA-style offenses, but it doesn't mean they can run college programs.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid.
Two guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take. Ka-ching! Why? Because of parity.
I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results. What?
How do you do this once?
Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
In a short format tournament like this, like the Olympics, now this is even smaller, only 4 teams. Who's got the best goaltending? You're talking 3 round robin games and then a knockout with 4 teams. So you're playing 5 games.
I'm not sold yet, Mike, on the USA stuff, on the merch, but I think I'm sold on the USA at least being in the final.
Only on SportsGrid.